Jerry Elliot against a man from the Dominican Republic called Julio César Soto. Here comes Elliot. He's got a good record, 26 fights, 25 wins, 1 draw. That, you may remember, was against Nordin Ben Salah a few fights ago. And he's the reigning WBC international champion, for what it's worth. And there's Julio César Soto from the Dominican Republic, and well, he's oft been beaten 11 times, in fact, against 9 wins, 2 draws, 6 knockouts to his credit. 28 years of age. Elliot, just 24.
Und sein Gegner in der blauen Ecke, der internationale österreichische Meister Jerry Elliot, 73,0 Kilo.
And although Soto was born in the Dominican Republic, he's done all of his boxing in Spain. So he hasn't travelled quite as far as you might think. And this is his first trip to Germany. And he's coming off a win against the oddly named Blades Sincus. So that's Soto for you. And here's Jerry Elliot. Well, he won that WBC international title last time out, beat the Hungarian Loren Szabo in 9. And he really did pass what I thought was something of an acid test when he actually fought Nordin Ben Salah. I thought Ben Salah would have beaten him, but in the end, I thought Jerry Elliot was slightly unlucky not to have got the win. He had to settle for a draw. But the one win, I suppose, that really does stand out for him was recently he beat Sam Solomon of Australia, who's now based in Britain and campaigning in Europe. He actually beat Sam on points over 8 rounds. Sam Solomon, by the way, managed by my old mate Pat Healy, and Pat has high hopes for Solomon, but just couldn't cope with the speed and variety of Jerry Elliot, who's always in great shape. Very popular man with the German crowds, Elliot, but I've always said he's a bit fragile around the chin. And I thought he'd be found out against Ben Salah, but he got through that one. As I say, I thought in the end he was unlucky not to have won it. Elliot's been a pro for a year longer than Soto. Turned pro back in 1994. Soto, of course, in 95. And Soto, by the way, lost his first 3 fights. So rotten start for him. 28 years of age now. So, although he had a rotten start to his career, I think it's safe to say his future's very much behind him. He's only won 1 of his last 5 fights. No great names on the record to speak of, but he can boast a 4-round stoppage win over another old mate of mine, Rob Pitters, an ex-basketball player. And also picked up a draw with the ageing Edwin Murillo. So, you know, there's some form there for Soto, but it's rare. Got nice long arms, that's for sure. But Elliot has got a good variety in his work. He's quick. He always seizes the openings very, very fast. And if you make a mistake, he's on you. And Elliot, another one of these German-based fighters who's had a diet, really, of substandard matches throughout his entire career, but only recently started to take on some meaningful matches in the shape, as I say, of Ben Salah and Solomon. By the way, Jerry Elliot, originally from Nigeria. He's 24 years of age, and those of you into it, he's a Gemini, or Gemini, I should say, by birth sign. And his opponent, Soto, is a Cancerian. So there you are, end of round 1, and well, both men had their moments there, but I think Elliot's won that one reasonably well.
Ringfrei zur zweiten Runde, Round 2.
No, he's not a Cancerian, I don't think. Where is he? Yes, he is. Of course he is. Born in July. Anyway, round 2 then of the scheduled 8. Super middleweights, of course. And although Soto has got 11 losses on his record, he's not the kind of guy you're going to walk out and whack on the chin and put him away. He's, he's been stopped on 2 occasions. The first time was in his second pro fight in the first round, and more recently, well, I say more recently, 1999, beaten by Jose Estrich in 9 for the what they call the CBA title, whatever that is. I have no idea. If anyone's got any ideas what the CBA Championship is, please let me know. If you want to get in touch, Steve Holdsworth, of course, at Eurosport.com is the email address. Not that I'm really interested, by the way, in what the CBA title is. It means nothing to me, just like so many of them don't. But of course, if I won one of them, it would be the world to me. So, been a bit of a hypocrite at times. But I think I speak for a lot of you when I say there are far too many nondescript, meaningless championships out there. And I also think that these fighters try far too hard to win what's not worth a great deal. But that's just my personal opinion. The only title that seems to carry the validity that it always has, with 1 or 2 exceptions, is the European title. It normally guarantees a top 10 ranking, especially with the WBC. So still very well worth having the European Championship, and one that you can, there's a line of pedigree that you can follow as well. WBC, of course, one of the most established of the world boxing organisations, the World Boxing Council, but no better than any of the rest, to be honest with you. They're all mired in all sorts of shenanigans these days. The IBF, of course, recently in court for alleged wrongdoing, but they've all been at it in one shape or form throughout the years. But back to the action here as Elliot there. Let's go with a couple of decent punches. But Soto not afraid to stand his ground here and punch away. So there you are, once again Elliot winning the round, I think, but Soto, well, having his moments. Into round 3 then, as they brought out for action by another old colleague of mine, Wolfgang Lai, who acts as MC and timekeeper. And obviously this Spaniard, for that is obviously what he is, Dominican Republic, of course, a former Spanish colony. I always can never say colony. And as I say, he's done all of his professional boxing so far in Spain. First trip to Germany for him, and out to enjoy himself here, and also try and stamp his authority on Elliot. Not easy. Elliot still unbeaten in 26 outings. 25 wins, 1 draw. And just to remind you, the record here of Julio César Soto, who's won 9, lost 11, drawn 2, and a decent right there, catching Elliot on the chin. Fortunately for him, it was a glancing blow, but signs there that Soto could be dangerous here. speaks good English, of course, Elliot. Being a Nigerian, English, I think English is the language of Nigeria, being a British colony, or used to be. I think they got suspended from the Commonwealth at one point. Not sure if they're back yet. Well, a right over the top then from Soto. So Elliot not getting away with this one completely scot-free. He's taking the odd shot. I love his hair. I love the way he does his hair. But it's not a fashion show. It's a boxing match. And he's winning this one as well at the moment. Once again, this around in which Soto is having his moments, but just not enough of them. Once again, looks like Elliot might have picked that round up as well. So 30-27 in favour of him. There's a couple of fight fans at ringside. Kyle Minogue look-alike. Here we go then for round 4 of the scheduled 8 in the super middleweight division. And Jerry Elliot so far has, I think anyway, won the first 3. Although, having said that, not getting off this one entirely scot-free. Soto, those long arms of his have managed to penetrate this defence on more than one occasion so far, but just not enough, I don't think, to warrant a round. And this is a dream for a boxer who likes a bit of space, a bit of room. The size of this ring is, well, as I say, it's fairly typical of for German boxing. And it makes it awfully difficult for fighters like Soto, who would be far more used to fighting in the corners on the ropes, but just don't get the opportunity against the elites of this world because they're mobile. I'm just wondering where on earth Elliot's career is going to end up. He's, as I say, odd really that he should base himself in Germany. Decent attack there from him. He's a German national now, by the way, so he does qualify for a European title fight, and he's probably not too far away from that. But always difficult to know in the beginning anyway exactly where they'd pitch him. And we've not probably seen the best of him yet. Probably needs a real severe test to bring out the absolute best in Jerry Elliot. And of course there's always a problem, you know, when you're waiting for the big one, you know, against these sort of nondescript opponents, that you tend to come down to their level. And that has happened to Elliot on occasions. And he's quite a strong man, Elliot. Not a brilliant puncher, I don't think, but certainly strong enough to make his presence felt. He's scored 20 inside the distance wins in those 25, but as I say, most of the time he's been pitched in and well below what you'd have expected. But as I say, it's a learning curve, and he's done his learning. I don't know how much better he is now than the day he started, but and again, it doesn't matter that much to me. 40-36 then, with 4 gone and 4 to go. Halfway point coming up, round 5. Big booming right there on the side of the head, and as you saw there, I've got a feeling that Soto expected worse than what actually arrived. He had a look of pain on his face before the punch even landed, and then I think he realised it didn't hurt that much after all. Here we go then, round 5. Well, now Elliot getting more aggressive here in this 5th round. We're told to try and take this guy out. And, well, going for it now. Well, referee, well, I hate the idea of a standing count. I've said it 1,000 times. If the guy's in no position to continue, stop the fight. Don't prolong his agony by giving a standing count that, all right, fine, it might keep him in the fight, but it also keeps him in the punishment zone. And I don't think that's healthy. Oh, and once again, Elliot whacking him to the chin there. And is that a knockdown? No, it's not. It's a pull down there by Elliot. So best moments of the fight so far then for Jerry Elliot. And of course, being WBC international champion, which as I say doesn't mean a great deal to me anyway, puts him in the top 30 in the world with the WBC. And don't forget, these days they're searching and scouring for contenders, for champions, and they're going well beyond the top 100 on a lot of occasions, depending of course which organisation you look at. But there seems to be a terrible shortage of genuine contenders these days in any of the world organisations, because there's so many different affiliations, there's so many different bodies, that the number 1 fighter doesn't always fight the number 2, in fact rarely does. Okay, Trinidad Vargas, that's slightly different. Personally, I thought they were technically very poor, the pair of them, and they masquerade as the top fighters in the division in the world, Vargas and Trinidad, that is. I just thought technically they left an awful lot to be desired, although it was a fairly exciting fight. It doesn't compare technically with Morales against Barrera, of course, but that's the old purist in me, I suppose. Trinidad's footwork's appalling, but he punches like hell, so what does he care what his feet are like? Once again, nice work this by Elliot, just keeping the pressure up, and he's won that one by 2 points. So 50 now to 48. No, that's wrong. 44, my apologies. So 6 points clear, and that's the pull down. 6 points clear, 3 rounds to go. So here we are then into the home stretch, round 6. And Elliot pretty commanding in round 5, pretty dominant. Oh, big right over the top there, catching Soto. And poor old Soto is looking very disorganised at this stage. Not enjoying this attention. Fast, hard punches these from Elliot. So the gum shield there getting knocked out. So action then resumes in round 6. And a bad 5th round for Soto. Julio César Soto. Great boxing name, of course. Elliot still looking to get that right hand over. Just trying to prise him open with the left. Little range finder. Find a little gap and bash in that right. Oh, there it goes, and again. Oh, and he's in trouble now. Oh, he's gone over. Well, he's gone over at last, and I don't think he's going to beat the count here and be in a condition to continue. Oh, he's all rubbery, look. Oh, my goodness, and that's a real shame for him. Well, it took some doing, but he got there in the end, Jerry Elliot, and he's, unfortunately for Soto, managed to unhinge him completely. Well, as I say, it was a bit of a time coming, but he got there in the end. And that's win number 26 now with 21 knockouts for Elliot. Jury's still out, I think, on Elliot. Difficult to know exactly how good he is as we watch again the final moments of that finishing flurry of punches from Elliot. And difficult to know exactly which punch it was. Probably that one, actually. But he took 2 or 3. Yeah, it was that right hand that did it. He kind of straightened him up for the fall, really.
Und hier das offizielle Urteil. Ringrichter Herbert Ulrich aus Hasloch zählte Julio César Soto nach 1,55 der 6. Runde aus und damit Sieger durch K.O. und auch in seinem 29. Kampf ungeschlagen. Der internationale österreichische Meister Jerry Elliot.
So there you are then, 1 minute 55 seconds of round 6. Elliot does the business. Main event still to come. Keep it here. Yep, super middleweight title against the Italian Silvio Branco.
Und nun, meine Damen und Herren, möchte ich Sie bitten, sich von den Plätzen zu erheben für die Nationalhymnen, gesungen von Silvio De Anza.
Well, there you go then. Great rendition there of both anthems.
Und nun möchte ich Ihnen die beiden Boxer vorstellen. In der roten Ecke der Herausforderer Silvio Branco, 34 Jahre alt, 75,4 Kilo schwer, 1,87 Meter groß. Silvio Branco ist seit 1988 Profiboxer, hat 46 Kämpfe bestritten, 40 gewonnen, davon 24 durch K.O., 2 Kämpfe unentschieden und 4 verloren. Und in der blauen Ecke der Titelverteidiger Sven Ottke. 33 Jahre alt, 75,9 Kilo schwer, 1,78 Meter groß. Sven Ottke ist seit 1997 Profi und hat alle seine 20 Kämpfe gewonnen und davon 2 durch K.O. Und nun die Offiziellen. Am Ring begrüße ich den Vizepräsidenten des IBF, Benedetto Montella.